Hi everyone, Nick here with NPM Productions. This week, a client had me do some orchestral reductions, which are taking orchestral pieces and rearranging them for a smaller ensemble. In this respect, I was actually taking orchestral arrangements and pop songs and rearranging them for piano and cello. Now, this can cause some problems with over-arranging or general busyness in the arrangement structure, so I wanted to go over some ideas of how I handle this. First, I will listen to the entire piece and track where the melody is sitting in relation to other instruments. Generally, this pertains to dynamics and how many instruments are playing around it and how dense the orchestration is. This will help me figure out the contour of the new arrangement and how much I should have going between the two instruments at one time. For a situation like this, if I'm dealing with a pianissimo section, I may actually just have the pianist play one hand. If there's a texture going on that would be right for the second instrument, I would work with both of those instruments dynamically. For instance, perhaps I would have right-hand piano and a flautando going on in the cello part. When we get to a section that's moving a bit more, I'm not going to go all the way to a forte. I'm going to find textural elements in order to achieve this without always working with a dynamic quality. For instance, if there's an eighth note rhythm that's at a softer dynamic in the orchestration, for cello I could work with pizzicatos or staccatos even to achieve that rhythm without going all the way to a forte or a mezzo forte dynamic. I also have to consider how loud to get when we get to the climax of the arrangement. Is it something that is chordal in nature where there's a lot of percussive elements in the piano, or are we doing something more floaty with arpeggiations? Exactly how are we achieving this dynamic contrast based on the elements of the orchestral reduction? Because I'm also dealing with pop bands in this reduction, I have to consider the instrumentation of the drums and bass, and also the rhythmic guitar elements. These all pertain to what I look at as voices. Voices in a classical sense are soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, but when I'm dealing with things in a pop band, I like to divide my families more based on the rhythm section elements, and this allows me to have a full contrast of voices in an orchestral rearrangement of a pop song. So for instance, if the bass doesn't drop until the first chorus, perhaps the left hand of the piano isn't going into the basement of the piano until that second chorus. Lastly, I need to think about the counter lines that exist inside of the original arrangement and which ones of those I should carry over into the new arrangement. This is all based on the sonic integrity of the song and what stands out to my ear as counter to the melody. If I include everything, it's going to make the arrangement extremely busy. So I need to strip out things from the original arrangement and choose those that are very pertinent to the arrangement in question. Sometimes I'll take certain elements and ghost them in the arrangement to create weight. So if there is a large chord structure in the strings that exists, perhaps I would have a tenuto and either a double stop or a triple stop in the cello if that's what it calls for. If it's a single note, I would just have them dig into that more and then rise up to the next line that would be counter to the melody. Perhaps there's another section as well where I can have play between the melody and counterpoint, where piano takes the melody for 2 bars, cello the counter melody, and then we reverse that cycle so that the cello has an option to play the melody as well. All of these things create play and diversity into the new arrangement that was created in the original arrangement just by way of all of the voices working together. I hope this video was helpful. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.